Welcome to Basically Sci-Fi, the short story podcast with stories you can basically call sci-fi. My name's Todd.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jared.
And this is the one. I've been waiting for this for so long.
Oh, yeah.
The most
Literally
ambitious...
hours.
The most ambitious crossover of all time. The Basically Sci-Fi crossover episode.
We really got to get a soundboard.
No, I'm pretty good at that.
No, this podcast does not need soundboards.
I would love to put some, fucking real Soviet sounds up in this podcast.
Yeah, I've got a pretty good fake radio voice, so that might work. You're listening to Basically Sci-Fi. Wow! You know.
Yeah, listening to Basically Sci-Fi.
Can't really make fart noises.
Where we seize the means of production.
Look, if we ever decide to do an intro theme to the show, we can use the Soviet national anthem. How about that?
That's the kind of energy I need this morning. There we go. Now I'm all here.
Or just big Putin walking, or wide Putin.
No, I fucking need big Putin walking. Shit.
With that big Putin energy.
Of course.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, I'm excited. So, I don't know that we talked about what the plan for the crossover episode was before, but in this little series of episodes, we're going to be writing stories in each other's universes. I will be writing... I've already written. I will be
live writing
a story that I wrote in Adam's new fresh baby universe.
Oh, yeah.
That I will forever twist and make my own and force him to write in.
As you do, you know.
I'm not writing in here with you. You're writing in here with me.
It's my favorite scene from the Batman.
From the Batman. I don't know.
That's the animated series, right?
Is there any difference between Batman the Animated Series voice and Rorschach?
Oh yeah, Rorschach, that guy.
Well, the animated series was Mark Hamill, and Rorschach was not. So yes, there is a difference.
Wait,
Rorschach was not Mark Hamill.
Okay, Mark Hamill was Joker. Are you saying he was Batman?
Is that? Oh, you're talking about okay.
I did the gravelly Batman voice that everyone does to make fun of the Christopher Nolan Batman.
I don't know, but honestly, that was a good Batman.
Oh, Christian Bale.
Yeah. He was the actor. I probably should have said that because I'm sure he was the actor. I don't remember who the director was. Was that Christopher Nolan?
Yeah, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Because he does, good movies, too.
Yeah. You say that as if the Batman wasn't a good movie.
The Batman movies were really good.
The Dark Knight are probably the movies that are responsible for the entire, legitimacy of the Marvel phenomenon that's happened. Without that Dark Knight series, I don't think comic book movies would have the same attention that they do now. Especially Heath Ledger's Joker.
Well, if we're going to talk about this for a second, the Batman movies, set the tone for the DC universe, I think, that they're trying to make now, where everything's really dark and gritty. And then Marvel kind of, intentionally away from that.
Not setting the tone.
That's just Zack Snyder. He likes dark and gritty.
We're talking about
more than anything.
Public consciousness, the awareness. Blockbuster comic book movies. The big movie of the year being a comic book movie.
There have been blockbuster comic book movies for a long time. Back to the Superman, Batman movies in the 80s. There's always a market. They're always trying to relaunch comic book movies once they kind of fade from general consciousness.
I remember watching those movies, but they weren't.
As far as Marvel legitimacy, you have the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies were really popular at the time. until they ruined it with 3, and
Was that
they
the one
tried
with
to
emo
relaunch it.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, that was with Venom, and
Yeah.
and like 16 other villains, and that they tried to shoehorn in.
And that's all from Batman in the 80s, where it's like every Batman movie's got to have 2 villains, and, that's like the gimmick of
Yeah.
superhero movies. So,
Yeah, that's weird. Why did they start that?
Which I think Marvel has kind of finally figured out doesn't really work, because they don't often have multiple villains like shoehorned into one movie
Yeah.
anymore.
I think now we're much more interested in the character-centric storylines. Like, I mean, even, right, the Joker movie, which I didn't like, but everyone else does, is just all about, the one character's history, whereas the 80s Batman movies could have 2 villains because, like, they were just about explosions. So you could have a really shallow, cartoony villain that just showed up and was
but those movies were a whole lot campier,
yeah, they
too.
were more...
Like, a whole lot campier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the new villains
But
have to have a tragic backstory, too. Like, how they got these scars.
And, like, camp is just the era it's from, like...
Yeah.
Pre 9/11 comic book movies were campy.
They're gonna be teaching that in film school, or maybe they already are. I don't know.
I'm sure it's like there's already been like one attempt at a resurgence at that with Shazam.
Oh, that was a good movie.
DC Captain Marvel.
That was
movie.
One of the few good DC movies.
It was fine, but it was super campy.
No, but it works for Shazam because he's a goddamn child.
Yeah, and it's a camp character, but like they used to try and shoehorn that into every superhero, and that just faded from popularity.
Deadpool's pretty campy.
I'm sure DC will try it again, but
you guys are gonna sense a pattern here. But I'm not big into the superhero movies. I haven't seen Shazam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not amazing, but it's fun.
Okay. Maybe I will watch that, and then I can be on the same page with you guys. But speaking of pages, I've got a page that I wrote. Would you like to hear it?
I want to talk about comic book movies more. But we can do that.
I was so worried when we started. I'm like, this is just going to keep going. Freaking know it. Anyway, this is my story for the crossover episode, blah, 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 that, that, I wrote in Adam's universe. Does your universe have a name? My universe is called the universe of limited possibilities.
Mine's called the universe.
Yours is called the universe. Like capitalized
just...
T, capitalized U.
Well, what do we call ours?
Yeah.
Exactly.
The universe. Okay, so yours exists in the universe.
Yes.
Okay.
Not our universe, just like, the universe.
Okay.
I call mine the DC Extended Universe.
Okay.
TM.
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 You got that on lockdown. Like, you got that first.
Nailed it. Fuck you, Zack Snyder.
And all the other people who made movies. Does he make all the DC movies?
He was supposed to be the vision behind it initially, but it kind of faded when people got sick of his black screen for 90% of a movie style. But
this is my story in the universe. Adam's The Universe, capital T, capital U. And this story is called Sweet Cliffhangers. Quadrant 9 is a rough part of town, and that town is space. A lawless area, or quadrant rather, where fortune and fame are never in short supply, but there is also unlimited danger. If the pirates and cartels don't get you, the space snails will. However, if the space snails don't get you, then you can get the new Jizra Space Burger at your nearest Jizra restaurant. Real men eat Jizra Space Burgers at Jizra, bringing you burgers and the closest thing you'll get to government inside of Quadrant 9. Eat Jizra burgers!
Don't eat jizz raw. Gotta cook it first.
That's the company's name. I'm not okay. Man, now I know what it sounds like. Lisa crunched down on her cigar. She hated Jizra. She worked for them after all. A space snail rancher, she supplied all the biggest meat for Jizra's space burgers. It's dangerous work, but it was also the only thing Lisa could think to do ever since she decided to get on the right side of the law. Sure, she had given up adventuring, but eventually everyone comes to a point in their life where they realize that some things are more valuable than treasure and kick-ass space battles.
That doesn't sound right.
Hurtling through space with her herd of space snails, Lisa kicked up her feet, tied her long brown hair into a loose ponytail, tapped the ash from her cigar, and turned up the radio. Her snails had just recently grazed on a low-tech planet incapable of interstellar communications or calling for help. They would be heading in a straight line for a while. Space snails normally lie dormant inside their asteroid shell, and only become active after crashing into a planet, at which point they will mate and then feed. The mating is a tragedy to behold, and most who witness this atrocity go mad. After mating, space snails will devour all life on the planet, bringing the locals the sweet respite of death.
Yes, please.
Yeah. You don't want to see that.
Or do you?
After feeding, the snails will hibernate again, at which point Lisa will butcher any needed for meat, and then attach one-time use micro boosters to their shells, launching her herd back into space. Breaking news from Jizra Media, the ship the Albatross suddenly evaporated today, leaving no survivors. Fortunately, nothing of value was on the vessel, so profits are not expected to suffer. No rescue efforts will be made due to the ship's lack of worth and the aforementioned vaporization. This breaking news update was brought to you by the Jizra Restaurant Corporation, bringing you burgers and the closest thing you'll get to truth inside of Quadrant 9. And remember, eat Jizra burgers.
Gross.
Lisa put down her cigar and picked up her phone to call her husband. You've reached the voicemail box of Kentaro Kenny Peters. I'm not available to take your call right now because I'm probably playing a gig. But if you're my wife, I'll make sure to get back to you as soon as possible. Everyone else, just send me a text, and I'll get back to you whenever. Lisa didn't bother leaving a message. Her husband, as sweet as he is, wouldn't actually have been any help at this particular moment. The next call she made was to an old friend. Well, if it isn't Lisa Peters, ex-adventurer turned space snail rancher. Patty Cake, ex-information broker turned mother of two. How you doing, you son of a bitch? Fine and dandy, but you're not just calling to catch up on old times now, are you? Jizra put out a bit of breaking news about one of their ships. Was wondering if you could confirm a suspicion for me. Lisa, you ever suspect that maybe as an ex-information broker, I might not have that particular bit of information you're looking for? I know that none of us can ever leave our past behind completely, Patty Cake. We learned that lesson back in the Star Tropics. Remind me what happened again? You were there, Patty Cake. You know the story as well as I do. Yeah, but it'll take a couple minutes for me to call in a couple of favors from a couple of shady characters to get that info you're looking for, and I want to hear the way you tell it. We decided to put some of that hard-earned money we'd made to good use. It was a rare occasion for us back then, that we didn't just reinvest our earnings in bigger guns or faster ships. No, we decided to treat ourselves to a stay at Spa Island in the Star Tropics, the premier getaway destination for those who don't like being asked questions about their professions. You decided to spend your vacation heaving that massive chest of yours down to the poolside to sip cocktails, work on your tan, and distract all the young bucks. You were quite the distraction yourself, if I recall. I was more distracted by rumors of the rare gems on the island. Spent my time in the hotel room alternating between staring at maps of the island or wispy stratus clouds lingering outside my window. Until you were further distracted by the wispy jazz musician playing his breakthrough gig at the hotel buffet. Whose story is this, Patty Cake? It's your story, and I'ma let you finish it later, but those favors just came through, so it's back to business. What you got for me? As with most Jizra news, the story is mostly true, the discrepancy being the matter of the Albatross's complete disintegration. Location of the ship? Crash landed. Sending the coordinates now. Thanks, hon. Now, just to be clear, the sole discrepancy in Jizra's story was the disintegration of the ship. It was accurate to say there was nothing of value salvageable on board. I'll keep that in mind. And with that, Lisa hung up. She quickly confirmed the trajectory of her herd. Will be a couple hours till the herd collides with any really heavily populated planets. Or any planets with humanoid aliens, at least. Plenty of time. She immediately broke off from the herd and warped to the coordinates provided by Patty Cake. Fortunately, there was just one planet visible from her location, so she brought her ship into the planet's atmosphere. Hovering above the tiny planet, Lisa could see as far as you'd care to. A rocky and seemingly magnetic planet, absolutely soaking wet with rain, and replete with thunder and lightning. Does ma meadow cumulus, dough, she thought to herself. Lisa decided to name the planet Butt Sniff Town, before it occurred to her that the planet may already have a name. Well, whatever it was, Butt Sniff Town has got to be better. Unless the planet's name was like the alien word for Butt Sniff Town. That would be more ethnic. Exotic? I'll just say it would be better. Lisa was from a generation of space travelers called the Sonic Boomers, and they tended to have very problematic vocabularies. It wasn't hard to find where the Albatross had landed, and the great ship was surprisingly still well intact, though it had a huge gash in the hull. After landing, Lisa popped the hatch of her ship and took a great big breath of fresh air. She had a knack for instinctively knowing which planets had breathable air, which, for a traveler such as her, was very fortunate. There was that one time, though, where she incorrectly assumed that the planet Fludescen was unbreathable. She walked around the planet for a week wearing a space helmet, breathing her own recycled air and farts before she noticed she could take it off no problem. She later renamed that planet to Oxygen Haven, to make sure other travelers wouldn't make the same mistake she did.
Nice of her.
Yeah. There was no one around, so Lisa decided to get changed. Been a while since I wore this, she said to herself as she struggled to get into the black latex catsuit. Even in her 20s, she struggled to get the damn thing on. But now, in her 50s, and having had 2 kids, there was no way she was going to zip the thing over her bountiful chest. So, she left it completely unzipped in the front. Her purpose was...
Oh my god.
Her purpose was stealth, so no one would see her wearing it wrong anyway. Along with the coordinates, Pattycake had sent a thermal heat signature of the planet. The thermal map showed that the population of the planet was divided into two camps, one group significantly smaller than the other. Lisa decided to begin her search with the smaller camp because it was nearer to the wreckage of the Albatross and also would be faster to search. The natives seemed to live underground, which was a shame because if they lived on a planet with floating islands in the sky, those islands really seemed like the coolest place to set up your tribal civilization. Anyway, Lisa used all kinds of sweet laser grappling hooks, translocation frisbees, and dope parkour skills to descend into the crevasse. Within minutes, Lisa had penetrated the dank hole of the frog-like aliens, who she named the Froglets. The diminutive Froglets appeared to be preparing for war, wearing tiny little uniforms and scurrying about. She wished them well in their battle. Unless they were the bad guys. But they were so cute, so she hoped they weren't. Keeping to the shadows, she made her way further into the Froglets' lair. Every now and then she overheard some of the Froglets make mention of a Skybreaker and an Arbiter. Consummately capable of putting two and two together, she realized this very, very likely had to do with the crashed ship. Finally, she found him, the lone survivor of the Albatross. Just then, Lisa received a call on her personal Omnicom. It was her husband. "Hey, honey, just got off set. What's shaking?" "Now's not really a great time." "You too busy space cowgirling to take a quick call?" "No, it's just that I'm..." "Lisa, you're not in trouble, are you?" "Not really. I'm just trying to be quiet." "Oh, so you're the one making trouble." "You haven't turned on the news yet, have you? Your son has got himself stranded on an alien planet full of froglets, and now I'm left to getting him out of there." "Stranded? I thought he was doing his internship thing. What's he doing surrounded by aliens?" "Well, I'll let you ask him later when I get him out of there." "Hold on a second. I don't like you sneaking around any alien civilizations. Is our son in any imminent danger?" "Well, no. But he does seem to be really tripping on froglet space drugs." "He'll be fine. We've all tripped on space drugs at some point. And how many different planets indigenous people had you been captured by before we met? My point is, the kid's almost 30, and he wants to be a space adventurer. Cut him some slack, okay?" Lisa sighed. "Where are you right now, Ken?" "Literally just got off set." "I've still got about an hour before my herd begins its next attack. Want to meet me at the Star Tropics? You should see this ridiculous thing I'm wearing." "Baby, I'm there." And with that, she hung up. The froglets were rattling their spears and getting riled up by some slightly bigger, slightly older-looking froglet. And while they were distracted, Lisa snuck over to her son and slipped some space money into his pocket for cab fare. After that, it was off to the Star Tropics for a quickie. And in case you were worried, dear listener, have no fear. Lisa Peters reunited with her herd of space snails before they could begin their apocalyptic mating rituals. The end.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Jizraw burgers are canonically made from space snails? Is that...
Yeah, they're space snail meat. You've been
God.
listening to the whole story waiting to ask about what Jizraw burgers are made of.
So they taste like Jizraw.
They taste like... Look, I assume that they're like the best meat that they can get in Quadrant 9.
Yeah.
Or something. Or the cheapest, maybe.
Yeah, from the sounds of their advertisements, I would say the cheapest, but yeah.
Quadrants have only 4s, but I am loving Quadrant 9. The absurdity of it is comedic.
Thank you. Yeah, so, Adam, what'd you think of me, manhandling your fresh baby universe?
I love the strong woman you put in my story. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I figured that old Buck needed a role model to aspire after.
Yeah. It's I like it, how his role model is also his mother, which I feel like really contrasts with his character in my story. It makes it a lot funnier and how self-serious he is, and then like his mother's like, "Oh, he's doing space drugs." Honey, remember when we used to do space drugs?
Yeah.
It's like every kid has that time where they're like, "I'm Breaking Bad," and then like the mom and dad are like, "Oh, honey, remember when we used to break bad? Oh, he thinks he's cute."
I mean, I hope I didn't destroy your character, but that was the feeling I got from him already, that he was kind of faking
Oh,
it.
no. It definitely is pretty spot on, actually, and I appreciate that. He is kind of a big dumb idiot.
Who wasn't captain of the Albatross, which
No.
I had to go back and listen to your story in order to remember the name of the ship. But so he wasn't the captain. He was literally just on it.
He's a janitor.
He was a janitor.
Everyone else is dead. So he's like, now I'm the captain.
Yeah.
I vote and promote myself.
So yeah, he's not Buck Rogers. He's Buck Peters.
Yeah, he's Buck Peters, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, Buck Peters, I just feel like I have to say like Buck Peters. I don't know. Anyway.
Did you get, like, as soon as I said her husband's name was Kenny Peters, like, you got that Kentaro Kenny Peters? I guess he's half Japanese now. That was, like, Buck's parents.
Kentaro, I was like, who is this motherfucker, Kentaro Peters?
Okay.
Oh.
Well, canonically, that's his dad now.
Now he's Asian.
Now he's Asian.
In space.
That or his grandparents were just weebs, but,
maybe, yeah. You're right.
His great-grandpa, Rawhide Kobayashi.
You know what? You're right.
Space thing.
In space, people aren't really from places anymore. They're from space. Yeah, maybe his parents were weebs. Maybe that's all. So, don't worry, listeners. You can continue to make fan art of Buck Peters as a white guy.
I don't even know what he looks like besides that he has a big old chin.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, yeah, you can just keep... I mean, all of Buck Rogers is officially Buck Peters fan art.
Have you ever seen Ratchet and Clank? Or Captain Quark?
Seen it? Was there a movie?
I'm sorry, have you ever played it?
No, I haven't played it either.
Okay then. Well, people who know what Captain Quark looks like, it's kind of a little bit what I'm thinking. Anyway,
I'm gonna Google it. And is it all cartoony like that?
No, it's not. I mean, imagine that in real life, right? But not so exaggerated.
Okay.
Because of course that one's a cartoon.
Not so exaggerated, but like Captain Quark, this big dumb idiot with a green suit.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm okay. Now I get it. Oh God, what does his mom look like?
I don't know, like this with huge tits, I guess. She also does not have the suit, I hope.
Okay, I guess that is the only thing I really said about her. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I could add a little bit of tits to your story.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jared, as an impartial listener, what did you think?
It was good. It definitely had your twist to it, but it was very much in Adam's style, I think. It was good. Yeah.
Thanks. Nobody mentioned her cloudophilia.
No.
Because that was the one thing I took away about Buck.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was a reference to something or not. So I didn't say anything, but
oh well. Anyway, well, thank you guys for listening to my story in Adam's universe. Yeah, I appreciate it. I had fun writing it, and I would love to do another crossover episode. Do you guys know about any crossover episodes coming up?
Well, since this is episode 20, I think we should do this again on episode 40.
40?
I think he's talking about next time with you doing a story from my universe.
Oh, next week? Yes. No, this is all part of that. But I thought you meant about the next time.
You're on a podcast, Adam. You're supposed to do segues.
Next time you can listen to me fuck up Todd's story. Not Todd's story, Jared's story. And also fuck up my own lines. Because it's 9 motherfucking in the morning.
Oh,
all right.
No matter what you add to canon to my universe, my stories are only ever tangentially related, really. So I can work around it.
But the
you can excise it. We don't need this. Just cut that out.
Oh man, remember when we all hallucinated that thing that happened last week? That never
We all had a fever dream.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh my
all
God.
together.
What's that campfire game where you tell a story all sitting around in a circle? Does that thing have a name?
Who's afraid of the dark? No, I'm not afraid of the dark. Are you scared of the dark? What's the name of that
Who's on first?
TV show? Whose line is it anyway? There we go.
Yes! That old Nickelodeon show. No, I mean like the game where like one person, like you say a line and you go like that. Once there was a werewolf, and then the next kid goes and he ate all the kids, and then the next one goes and then he threw up all the kids, and the kids went to Disney, and then the next, that game.
Telephone, yeah.
All right, we're not getting it anyway.
But
It's called Telephone.
No, it's not.
Shit.
Telephone
No.
is
Definitely, absolutely, it is.
telephone is where you whisper a word to one person, and then they whisper it to the next, and you go around in a circle until you get back to the original person.
Yeah.
And then that person says what they were told out loud to compare the two.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
what the original
but you
word
do it with a
was.
story instead.
No, but that's
So that's
no.
a different. Anyway,
That's completely
All right.
different game.
look, been a while
Oh,
since
damn it.
we were kids. We don't know the names of all these games. For all the kids in the audience, if you can remember what that game is called, let us know in the comments.
Then why the
And,
fuck are you listening to this?
Just house school. Are you guys still play with toys or whatever? Like,
You guys still got wooden tops? I used to play with wooden tops when I was a kid.
yeah.
Like dreidels?
My friends had all them Beyblades. I had a wooden top.
That's Dre Blades.
The Dre Blades.
Okay, bye.
Oh, man.
See ya.